we strive to prepare our students for what's next. In the same spirit, as you close this chapter of your life, I have 3 little points I'd like to share with you tonight. They're based on my own experience, and I really hope that they will help you along your way. These items are items that I wish somebody had shared with me when I was your age. The first point is that in all walks of life, your success will be determined by how well you are able to create, develop, and nurture trusting relationships with those you come into contact with throughout your life. The second point is the essential importance of maintaining your character. There are a multitude of ways to describe what it means to have good character, but as I was preparing this message, it occurred to me that one critical measurement of character is this: can the people in your life see that you believe in what you say and that you are trustworthy? Let me ask you tonight, do the others around you, those that you come into contact with, believe that you are trustable? You must be. Be true to yourself along the way. The final point that I want to share with you tonight is that you must remain true to your values, your instincts, resisting the temptation to allow the opinions of others to sway against your values. Be true to you. In any relationship, it takes 2 parties to create a healthy, trusting relationship. You can only represent one side of that relationship, though. If you find that a relationship doesn't feel right and the other person isn't reciprocating the honesty and good intentions that you have brought to the table, you must have the personal strength to be able to walk away and search for healthier relationships that will support you and believe what is right. Be true to yourself. I want to share a challenging story that I experienced along my journey. It resulted in what I believe will be an amazing outcome, but it was a challenging journey. I spent 6 years as an administrator in a traditional school district, creating a virtual school for Southeast Michigan region. I came to a point in the process in which I believed that I had impacted that district as much as I could with the freedoms that I had to innovate. But my ability to continue innovating was coming to an end. So I began to open my mind to new relationships, and I was introduced to a gentleman by a mutual friend that I trusted. From the start, the person I found great synergy with and forward-thinking approach to education. So much so that only after 7 months of developing our friendship, I had become convinced that I could trust this individual. We spoke alike, we treated each other in public and our staffs alike. I thought I could trust. So I made a career shift to pursue the new opportunities and innovations in cooperation with this individual and his organization. As I became familiar with the staff at the new school, I realized that there were even more amazing people on the ground working with students than I had ever imagined. I knew that I could be there forever. Well, 2 months had passed, and I had the opportunity to spend some time at a new site, a new school location that I had not been to yet. As I spent time getting to know the staff at that location, I was again amazed at the kindness and willingness to help students. But many of you will someday experience what happened to me next, what I was experiencing that day. As we were sharing stories and getting to know each other, I detected an odd feeling that something was being avoided. An awkward experience that seemed like they knew something I didn't. You could see them catching themselves as they cautiously selected which stories to share and what parts of the stories they thought they better leave out. As the next few days passed, I started to pay a little closer attention to the way the staff interacted with each other and other administration. My perception was that the staff loved the students, but also they lived in fear. They all seemed to be second-guessing their decisions. And as a few more days and weeks elapsed, I began to find areas of concern, major concern, in the way the organization was being operated. With new information about the person I thought I had followed and the decisions that were being made by the organization, I knew I wouldn't be able to support it. And I found myself in a dilemma that many of you will find yourself one day. I had just left an amazing traditional school district, and I took a chance on innovation. But I knew that if I had continued in my new role, I would face challenges to my character that would cause me to be unable to continue my job. After 3 weeks of trying to bring concerns to the surface, there was a mutual decision that this was not a place that I could continue my career. So my 3 earlier points apply to this story in this way. The first point I shared was that in all walks of life, your ability to create, develop, and nurture trusting relationships is paramount to your success. In this situation, I had become persuaded that I had a trusting relationship with the individual and the mission and vision of that organization. But in reality, there was a tremendous lack of honesty and openness. The second point I shared was the tremendous importance of preserving your character, being true to you. Through this experience, I was able to maintain my character even after I began to experience challenges. During my final weeks with that organization, staff members began to open up to me and trust me as their advocate. They saw that through my actions that I was there to help students and families, period. But I began to see that if I chose to stay with that organization, I would be required to sacrifice portions of who I was. I was going to be required to sacrifice, and the price was just too high to pay. I want you to be true to you. And lastly, it was important to have the strength to walk away from a relationship that causes you to compromise who you are and what you stand for. Be true to you. In this situation, at this time, I made a very difficult decision, and that was to leave. Understand that I had no other job opportunities to fall back on, but I knew that my life wasn't going to be there. That day, I left my position and headed back home. When I arrived that night, my wife was holding our newborn baby and feeding our toddler in the other hand. I proceeded to explain to her that I just left the only paycheck we were earning at the time. I ended the conversation with her that night by saying, I'm going to find people. I'm going to find great people of great character to build a school of excellence, ethics, and to focus on students who needed an opportunity that's different from a traditional education. If I had never left that difficult experience, we would never have founded MIPS. Today, we have a staff family who challenges each other to avoid distractions, to take away our ability to create trusting relationships with our students and our families we serve. Today, we have a school of 1,200 students on 1,200 different individualized pathways. The team will never lower our values of or for our students, and that education will always be the core of our business. Our job is to closely work with the students' home support network and become part of that students' support village. We now are part of 1,200 different student villages, and we get to celebrate some of those tonight. For our graduates, thank you for allowing the entire MIPS team and family to serve you, to love you, and to help you become successful young adults. For the teachers, mentors, and support staff at MIPS, you are not just another student. We truly care about you and your success in your future. And it's not just during your MIPS education time, but beyond your high school years. Sometimes it can make a world of difference knowing that there's someone behind you cheering you along your way. Someone who instills confidence in you and builds you up when you're discouraged. Please remember that. As you tackle challenges that lie ahead, you will always have support network from your MIPS family. Tonight, it's an honor and a privilege to celebrate your victory. Tonight, we celebrate you. Enjoy the evening and know that we are your home. Thank you, and always remember to be true to yourself.
At MIPS, we're committed to preparing our students for a successful future, not only through academic preparation, but also through character development. We want our graduates to be the kind of people who take responsibility for their own success, who are quick to use their talents to help others, the kind of people who have a powerful sense of direction in life. and who have the personal discipline and work ethic that's needed to pursue that purpose. At MIPS, we believe the mentor role is crucial in developing this kind of holistic maturity in the dedicated and talented young people we serve. Our mentors work tirelessly all year long to guide and encourage their students, inspiring to expand their vision of what they can accomplish, and then to dig deep and rise to the occasion. As is evident to many in this room, our mentors become deeply invested in the success of their students and grow to feel the students' victories and struggles as if they were their own. Each year, our mentors put forth the names of a group of students who have modeled the kind of character and academic achievement we strive to cultivate in our students. We award this scholarship as a way of commending the exemplary dedication and integrity of these students. This year, our mentors have carefully selected the names of 22 scholarship nominees with a total amount of $13,500. It is now my distinct pleasure to present the Mentor Scholarship Award to the following graduates. When I call your name, please come to the stage and receive your award. The first four names have all received a $250 scholarship. First, Haley Ensley. Ashanti Carr. Emily Benjamin. And Sierra Pywak Schaefer. I should note, not all of our graduates are walking tonight, but we are live streamed on YouTube, so they can have congratulations, Sierra. The next four names I will read are earning $300 scholarships this evening. The first one, Kirsten Jones. Brianna Gunther. Ashley Tucker. And lastly, Caleb Keister. Okay, the next round of students have all received a $325 scholarship. The first $325 scholarship recipient is Cheyenne Barrett. Gabriella Redmond. Moving on to a $350 scholarship is Dakota Bowman. Congratulations. The next two students have each received a $500 scholarship. First, Miss Lauren Clock. $500 scholarship goes to Nyrel Walker. Okay, the next three students have each earned a $700 scholarship. First off, Bridash Wilson. Okay, next is Ian Cameron. And our last $700 scholarship recipient is Isaac Keller. Okay, the next four students will receive an $800 scholarship. First off, Chastity Savage. Sophia Lutman. Miss Haley Evans. And lastly, Madeline McKay. Okay, we have two more scholarships to award. This next scholarship is for $1,500 and will go to Mr. Devin Nabazny. And our final scholarship of the evening is for $2,500 and will be going to Cassidy Tarajos. Congratulations, Cassidy. And congratulations again to all of the Mentor Scholarship recipients. And now I'd like to welcome back to the stage this year's student speaker and now Mentor Scholarship Award recipient, Lauren Klock.
Congratulating all of you, students and family. This is just amazing. I mean, we did it. It seems so beyond surreal. I feel like just yesterday we were all getting ready for our first day of kindergarten in first grade. I remember being in elementary school and saying like, wow, it's gonna take so long to become a grown-up. And I can't believe the day is finally here. Each of us has all experienced 12 years worth of knowledge, adversities, relationships, and teamwork. We learn much more at school than just the schoolwork. We have learned throughout these 12 years how to grow into ourselves that shape us into who we are today. Whether it be negative or positive lessons and experiences, our lessons throughout the years have gotten us to where we are in this exact moment. I congratulate you all for the progress you have made along the way. It has been a true journey. I will share with you all the progress that I have made in my journey through Michigan International Prep School. I want to thank Michigan International Prep School for everything they have done for me, and for this rewarding experience and opportunity to be pioneers in this new form of education. Many of you may have chosen online school for many different reasons, but I'm going to tell you all my reasons. I went to public school until my sophomore year of high school, and then I transferred to MIPS. Throughout my middle school and high school career within public school, I was bullied very badly. I used to ask myself, and some days I still do ask myself this, what I possibly could have done and what others do to deserve that kind of harassment. I had gum thrown in my hair. I lost my spot. I had gum thrown in my hair. I would be called nasty names straight to my face, and I even had an entire song made about me and posted on social media, like, talk about embarrassing. I eventually began to understand that I had done nothing wrong. People just can't stand different. And I am different, and I love it. I began to love everything. Thank you so much. And thank you. I mean, I love it. I began to love every part of me that was different from the other kids. But still, asking any kid who has nothing but a rose-tinted view of the world to try and love themselves despite all of that was almost close to impossible. I struggled really deeply in silence. I loved myself, but why couldn't anyone else seem to? Education became increasingly hard to focus on. My sophomore year of high school, my body and mind decided to finally give up. It felt foreign and impossible to try and fit into a place where I knew deep down I did not belong. I developed severe anxiety and experienced severe abdominal pains to the point where I would have to vomit from that pain. At that point, it was practically impossible to attend school. One day, I got so sick, my dad picked me up from school and I never went back. I was so scared for my future. I had no idea how I was going to continue on with my education while being so physically and mentally crippled at the time. Then, Michigan International Prep School was recommended to my family and I. And before I knew it, we figured out that MIPS was by far the best option out of any alternative schools in the area. They set me up with the best mentor in the whole wide world, Mr. Carver, a great laptop, and I was off. It was like not a hard adjustment for me. I mean, although I was really, really sick, my life had already instantly improved. Public school and the environment there caused about 80% of my stress and anxiety. So being at home in a more positive environment was entirely refreshing. This program could not have been a better fit for me. I felt that I was finally able to focus and truly receive the education that I had been waiting for. I was able to pace myself how I needed to be, and the MIPS program really even improved my grades because of all of that. I was truly enjoying school and education at a rate that I never thought would be possible because of the harmful environment I was surrounded by. Now, I may not be sure of how each of you may have gotten to this point, but I'm quite confident that others have experienced that same kind of relief and improvement when attending MIPS. If I may ask you guys to raise your hands, like if you experienced something kind of similar to me where you just did not and just like, I feel like it's so much better for a lot of people for sure, and like alternative programs are needed because not all individuals conform into public school super well. Michigan International Prep School gave me the opportunity to be able to fully embrace and immerse myself in my differences. It gave me the chance to see all the good in being unique. I thank MIPS for this unforgettable opportunity to expand my education and myself as well. I also really have been waiting for a chance to publicly thank my mom and dad for coming to pick me up from school all those days. So for real, thank you, Mom and Dad, and to all the other parents who took the time to listen to their child and their child's needs. By doing that, you have allowed your child to thrive in a positive environment and receive a proper education. Congratulations, everybody. We survived high school.
Tonight, our commencement speaker is Dr. Wilson from Wayne State University. Dr. Wilson became the 12th president of Wayne State University in August of 2013. Prior to joining Wayne State, President Wilson serves as Deputy Director for Strategic Scientific Planning and Program Coordination at the National Institute of Minority Health and Health Disparities of the National Institutes of Health. Previously, he was the Dean of the School of Medicine and Vice President for Health Sciences at Creighton University, President of the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center, Chancellor of the University of Colorado, Denver, and Chair of the Board of Directors of University of Colorado Hospital and Schuts Medical Campus. President Wilson also chaired the Board of Directors of the Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science and was acting president during part of that time. President Wilson's research is focused on glaucoma and blindness in populations from the Caribbean to West Africa. He is a member of the National Academy of Medicine, Institute of Medicine. President Wilson received his undergraduate degree from Allegheny College, a Master of Science in Epidemiology from UCLA, and his medical degree from Harvard Medical School. Please join me in welcoming the president of Wayne State University, President Wilson.
Well, congratulations, class of 2021. I am so happy to be here, so thank you very, very much for the invitation. And good evening to everyone else. Graduating from high school is an achievement worthy of celebration under any circumstances. But you, the class of 2021, are doing so under the most extraordinary circumstances. All across the country, graduates like you are donning their cap and gowns after enduring the worst public health crisis in a century. As students learning to adopt to a new mode of learning, they had to be nimble, dedicated, hardworking. But you, the fourth graduating class of the Michigan International Prep School, had already aced this game. You were already accustomed to online courses, so you took things in stride. You were in your element and you thrived. And yet, the MIPS class of 2021 impresses me even more. Some of you work jobs while you pursued your studies. Some of you raised children. Some of you face obstacles your classmates know nothing about. You've had to juggle extra fast in your journey to your high school diploma. You've exhibited tenacity and resilience. It took grit and sacrifice. It took character. At Wayne State University, where I'm president, our mascot is the warrior. And that's what I see when I look out at all of you, warriors. You worked hard for this moment of success, very hard. And I hope you take the time to celebrate all that it took to reach this point in your life. This church is filled with people in your lives who are happy to share in your achievement. Parents, siblings, grandparents, friends, and neighbors. People who may have helped you arrive at this milestone. So today is their day as well, and I hope it's filled with joy and pride for all of them too. All your life, people have told you that you should graduate from high school, that it is a worthy pursuit, something you need to do. And now that you've run that race and crossed the finish line with your diploma, some of you might be wondering, was it all worth it? All the long hours of homework and studying, finishing projects and taking exams. You might reasonably ask, did I do the right thing? For some of you, a high school diploma means a ticket to a new job, your entry to trade school, or admissions to college. And as a university president, I must say that this is a worthy pursuit. But whatever your next chapter in your life, work, school, raising a family, know that your education has shaped you in ways you probably don't even know yet. Not long ago, back in the 20th century, there was a portrait photographer named Yusef Karsh. You could say that he made a living studying character. He once said, "Character, like a photograph, develops in the dark." Now I realize that this simile may be lost on the graduates out there who grew up in the digital age. So let me explain that long before iPhones existed, photographs were taken on cameras and developed on print paper in dark rooms. Karsh spoke from experience, having grown up during the Armenian genocide in which members of his family were killed. After witnessing the unspeakable horrors of war, he migrated to Canada and eventually became widely recognized as the greatest portrait photographer of the 20th century. He photographed some of the most notable people in the world, such as Winston Churchill, Dwight Eisenhower, and actor and civil rights activist Paul Robeson. Through his portraiture, he studied close up remarkable people who had achieved greatness, and he came to understand that these people reached their pinnacle not through talent alone, or hard work, or luck, although these certainly helped. They forged their character, their true character, by enduring the many challenges life threw in their path, and learning to overcome them and keep going at all costs. They persisted through failure, loss, war. They learned never to give up on what mattered most to them. You know, this has been a hard year for a lot of people, and previous to the pandemic, I usually had an event every night, sometimes 2 or 3. And then all of a sudden the pandemic happened, and I didn't have these events at night, although I was on Zoom meetings all day. And so I decided to write a book. It's a memoir of my life. Now my faculty, my students and staff, they're trying to get me to talk about the book, but I've been pretty tight-lipped about it. But I'm going to reveal to you at least what the title is. The title of my book is "The Plum Tree Blossoms Even in Winter." The plum tree, the Japanese plum tree, has had a special significance in my life. It's very special because unlike other trees, it flowers not in the spring. You've heard the saying, April showers bring May flowers. It flowers even in the wintertime, in the darkest of times, the most bleak of times. It signifies that at the most bleak time of the year, that beauty can emerge. It signifies that during the most darkest time of the year, that resilience can prevail, that there's a hope for a better day the next day and not next season. And that is what you, graduates, have been learning to do over the past 12 years and more. Forging your character through the obstacles you encountered, building grit and kindness, and learning to problem solve, being resilient. And this is why the answer to the question, was it all worth it, is a resounding yes. Your true selves have begun to emerge by challenging your minds, by being accountable to expectations of yourself and others, and by losing with grace and winning with magnanimity, by sacrificing today for future rewards. The many lessons you learned from your teachers and mentors will help shape who you become in the coming decades, wherever life may lead you. The pandemic appears to be wrapping to a close, but the darkness will never fully disappear. Life will be full of difficulties, but your education has prepared you to overcome them and thrive. This should give you confidence and joy as you face your futures. Once again, congratulations to the class of 2021. I wish you all the very best at education, in life, has to offer. Again, thank you so much for the invitation.
At this time, we're going to present our diplomas. From Flint, Patrick Emmanuel Elkhorn. From Flint, Katie Marie Allen. From Highland, Bryce Clay Anderson. From Marine City, Cheyenne Grace Barrett. From Decker, Emily K. Benjamin. From Detroit, Ashanti Janaea Carr. From Romulus, Haley Marie Drewer. From Howell, Haley Ann Marie Ensley. From Midland, Haley Jane Evans. From Howell, Ashlyn Noel Gossett. From Warren, Kirsten Lee Jones. From Howell, Lauren Abigail Clock. From Lake Orion, Susanna Lee Kruger. From Fenton, Michaela Aaron Kermas. From Detroit, Jamar Calvin Lee Stinson. From Birmingham, Sophia Isabella Lutman. From Dearborn, Justin Jamie Macklin. From Grand Rapids, Nikayla Chantel Marion. From Ann Arbor, Owen H. Marks. From Howell, Madeline Faith McKay. From Novi, Adian Natarajan Menon. From Grand Rapids, Devin Cade Nabozny. From Clinton Township, Dallas Jade Price. From Clinton Township, Delan Milan Price. From Spring Lake, Aiden Thomas Ramsey. From Spring Lake, Emma Helene Reed. From Highland, Madison Ashley Rutz. From Tecumseh, Hayden Howard Sawyer. From Roseville, Rebecca Lynn Shell. From Warren, Jazzy Alea Tiara Sims. From Saginaw, Xander James Smith. From Dearborn Heights, Nariel Lachey Shania Walker. From Romulus, Chelsea Marie Waple. From St. Clair Shores, Andrew Terrence Michael Witcher. From Livonia, British Lukai Wilson. And from Fowlerville, Caitlin Rose Wormsbacher.
All right. We've been waiting all night for this. At this time, I invite our graduates to stand and turn to your families. It is with great honor, by the power of the Michigan International Prep School Board and accredited by the Michigan Department of Education, that you may now move your tassels from the right to your left.